Well, this guy Thayer Evans, who took part in this story, and his credibility is, listen, this guy should be fired, as far as I'm concerned, for such an atrociously bad piece of allegedly investigative reporting that apparently took place over 10 months. And this is a guy who I'm finding out more and more here. During the timeout, I was perusing the internet looking for information on this guy, and it's clear that his bias is an overall hatred of Oklahoma State, and he's not only an alum of Oklahoma University of Oklahoma, but in addition and concurrent with that, he hates Oklahoma State. October of 2011, he wrote the following: a meltdown by seventh-year Oklahoma coach Mike Gundy is coming just like usual, as evidenced by his sixth-ranked team's sloppy 38-26 victory Saturday against incompetent number 22 Texas. He also wrote October of 2011, even the rest of the college football world knows Gundy is bound for a debacle. It's the unspoken reason no one is worried about the Cowboys winning the Big 12 championship, let alone the national title this season. Thayer Evans wrote all of that in October of 2011. In December of 2011, of course, Oklahoma State won the Big 12 championship. They were one win away from the national title. And in the following spring of 2012, apparently, Thayer Evans began his investigation of Oklahoma State. He also did mention in his piece, I forgot to mention this, where is it? I mean, this is just so damn obvious. It is so damn obvious that this guy is swinging an axe and just wants to do everything in his power to take down an institution and a football program that he absolutely and totally despises. Where is it? I should have outlined it here. Oh, here it is. Here it is. He writes the following in this paragraph. In 2006, an internal investigation at Oklahoma revealed that Sooners quarterback Rhett Bomar and offensive lineman J.D. Quinn worked a few hours a week at a car dealership, but filed padded timesheets and collected thousands of dollars in unearned income. The players were dismissed from the team in a scandal that rocked Norman. And then he tags it with this: but the Sooners' violations paled next to the bogus jobs 83 miles away in Stillwater. Tell me this guy doesn't have an agenda? I mean, any journalist who read this piece, didn't Jason Whitlock, Kaplan, in the last 24 hours, didn't he come down with a sledgehammer on this piece?
He did. He ripped Thayer and piece in general.
Any journalist worth their salt, any writer, columnist, journalist, combination of the two, would be expecting a hell of a lot more from this. I mean, this story is laden with innuendo, hearsay, assumption-based accusations. And he doesn't name, he puts in the piece unnamed boosters, mysteriously. And as I said before, what is very disturbing about this whole thing, 6 of the players identified at one point in the piece of having received payments. 2 of them are dead, can't defend themselves. 3 of them right now are denying the allegations. 1 refused to respond to the report. Then there's the Mama Norris figure who I talked about. She's dead. She can't speak on her own behalf. The rest of the OSU football community who played during the time and were teammates with many of the players that were implicated here, not implicated, but spoke allegedly on the record, and all those players were thrown off the team, let's not forget. The head coach at the time, Miles, is now at LSU. His reputation is being soiled in the process of this whole thing. If this whole thing doesn't feel like the biggest reach, man. How did they let him get away with this is something that I sit here and I can't fathom it. I can't fathom how Sports Illustrated would allow this piece to go forward, Not only that, I can't fathom how Sports Illustrated could allow this story, 5 parts, 5 parts. Part 2 today, Part 3 scheduled for Thursday, Part 4 on Friday. Guess what? Series concludes with Part 5 on Saturday, another college football Saturday across North America and around the world. And you're going to let this go forward. SI, you're better than this. You're better than this. Oh, and on top of everything else, one of the authors, the main driving author in the piece, even though it was a collaborative effort, the driving author in the piece, this Thayer Evans guy, an alum from the University of Oklahoma, loves their football program and hates OSU. I mean, would this guy ever get another job anywhere at any time if Sports Illustrated should do the right thing here and fire him and put the kibosh on this piece? Here's a question for Thayer Evans. You went to Oklahoma. Oklahoma, certainly, as you mentioned briefly in your piece, had just a minor scandal with Rhett Bomar and a offensive lineman several years ago. Would you not think that maybe you would want to do... listen, would the guy not have had much more credibility going after an institution that he loves, going after an institution that where he went to school, than to come up with the crappy journalism? And what does this do now to the OSU football program heading into this year? It capsizes everything right now. It casts a pall and a dark cloud because in a lot of people's minds, I could imagine that people read part 1 of the report and were, they've got their hands and they're rubbing them together. Ooh, I can't wait for part 2. Because perception oftentimes, unfairly, is reality in the minds of well too many people. Oh, and this is where we are in America with the state of sports media. Listen, if this story had been released on Deadspin.com, if this story had been released on some other website that looks for sensationalism, before they put the accuracy ahead of anything else, they put sensationalism and clicks on a mouse with elevated web traffic and the ability to really kind of stir a pot, even with a story that doesn't make sense from top to bottom, but they ignore all that. They just put it out there and people are talking about it. If it was Deadspin, if it was some other, and I like Deadspin, but you know what I mean. I would not expect this to be a part of Sports Illustrated. I would expect this to be part of a lower tiered, less credible, much less credible website, sports reporting mechanism than is something like Sports Illustrated. Terrible. And the NCAA is going to jump into the pool now. And the NCAA is now going to conduct their own investigation. How many times do I have to tell you that the NCAA has outlived its usefulness? I mean, this is akin to a major drug operation that has been going on for years in some town in America, okay, that is fully staffed with a police force, a sheriff's department, and it's been going on under their noses all this time. They don't have an inkling. They don't have a clue. Yet 2 flunkies from the local town newspaper got the jump on all this, and they knew about it over a 10-month period of time and sprang it upon an unknowing public one day in a newspaper. And then the sheriff's department and the police department sat back and said, oh, really? Wow, who knew? We didn't know. That's the NCAA's role in this whole thing. That's why I said, Mark Emmert, clean out your office in Indianapolis. You're fired. You're out. The new sheriff in town, the guy who is now the president of the NCAA, is Thayer Evans. He knows everything. Oh, listen, he's the dirt buster. He's the dirt buster. What a disgrace. Oh boy, 1 hour in on a Wednesday. It's the third of five award-winning and blockbuster endeavors. It is the Dino Costa Show. Dino in the morning on the Dino Costa Radio Network. That would be Sirius 92, XM 208. I'll get to your phone calls, 866 and 522. 2846, one done, three to go on a Wednesday. Top of the hour with a sports update or something they're going to do. And then back with hour number two right after this.